The game Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is a very stupid game. The August tapes do not work to explain anything. If anything, it creates more problems in the actual narrative. Brainiac talking is supposedly what causes the brainwashing, and it doesn't make any sense because, Brainiac talks and then Flash is like, oh fuck, we gotta get out of here. He does a time jump with Wonder Woman and then dips. Because it just actually creates more problems. It's like if talking to the Justice League is what brainwashed them, and that's why he wanted them on the ship, right? Then why didn't he teleport the Suicide Squad to the ship and talk to them and then brainwash them? And if just talking isn't good enough, then why is it that implied what caused it? And better yet, if Wonder Woman and the Flash are not brainwashed and they're together, why don't they fight off the Justice League? Why is the Suicide Squad needed? I get it because it's a Suicide Squad game, but why can't you write a justification that works? And how are they even able to kill the Justice League? Like, it doesn't even make sense in the context of the game, because Deadshot is, like, trying to shoot at the Flash, right? And he's like, why don't you mail him the bullet? And it's like, well, fair point. It's like, in the context of this game, he can't even hit the Flash with the bullet, because the Flash is just so much faster. And it's like, okay, so how does this even make sense then? How is Deadshot supposed to do anything? And it's just magic, he just kills my magic, I guess. I don't mean widow magic, I mean, like, bullshit. I mean, he just beats him somehow. And the game just doesn't care to explain much of anything. If this is supposed to be the Arkham universe, and this is Arkham Batman, then how the fuck does Harley Quinn kill him? At this point, Batman has defeated Killer Croc, a Titan enhanced Joker, Bane. It's like, what threat does Harley Quinn even pose? It's like so stupid. Plus, the game doesn't even make sense within the confines of the Arkham series, because it's not canon to Arkham. It's like, well, you could say it is, I guess, but it doesn't really follow. It follows in the sense of it's a DC kind of property, but that's it. You have Deadshot showing up, and he's white, and he has an entirely different uniform to the one seen in Arkham City, and it's not even the same uniform as the one seen in Assault on Arkham. So it's like, it doesn't make sense there. And I mean, people are gonna think it's canon, but I don't really think it's canon to Arkham. I think it's just a random, like, DC property, like a kind of standalone title. It doesn't make sense in any other context, because, like, if it is canon to the Arkham universe, it's like, why is Batman even acting as a superhero? Wasn't the whole point of Arkham Knight at the end was that he was done being Batman? It's just stupid. Um, And where's Red Hood during all of this? Where's Batgirl? Why don't they try to stop him? So many questions. And then you see, Harley Quinn, and she's, like, not obsessed with the Joker in any regard. And, the title of the game is Suicide Squad, not Arkham Suicide Squad. So, there's that too. Every Arkham universe entry, even if it wasn't canon, or if it wasn't, a mainstream entry, was always called Arkham. Assault on Arkham, the Arkham mobile game, like, everything that is related to the Arkham series in one way or another has been called Arkham. And supposing Assault on Arkham is canon, why is the new game featuring King Shark? King Shark is a character that's already been in the DC universe. And better yet, here's the problem too. Harley Quinn is, like, out on her own doing her own thing, which kind of contradicts Arkham Knight, where she's still obsessed with Joker. It's like, what's going on? And it's like she just becomes her own kind of independent character, right? She's not really bound to anyone. She's not really like a girlfriend or like a boyfriend type character. She's not a love interest for the sake of being a love interest, like how Lois Lane is to Superman or whatever. The problem though is we don't see the development from her being, a kind of lapdog to a independent character. A lot of series have done this better. You see, the Harley Quinn TV show. There's like the whole first season is her developing from being Joker's goon to her being her own character, and she develops a relationship with her friend Poison Ivy throughout all of it too. And in this game, it's just implied they had a relationship at some point. You don't really get a development for it; it just happens. Her design looks nothing like the Arkham one either, so it's barely even canon. It's like doesn't fit whatsoever. And there's a problem too with the actual visuals. It's like you see the actual like art design very gritty, right? Very gritty in Arkham. And then in the Suicide Squad game, it's all flashy. It's like not even the same sort of style. And even the whole Justice League evil thing and having to get killed, that is even like a bad concept to me. It's just executed so poorly here. There's no plausible way they can actually kill the Justice League, let alone like harm them, because these are supposed to be like superhumans with like superhuman durability. In the Injustice series, as an example, which is far better wrote, they come up with this like pill concept. Of course, the pill concept is kind of like contrived bullshit, but it exists to kind of solve the issue of how the fuck are they gonna, damage Superman or harm him? Well, they have these pills. And in Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League game, it's just they do it somehow, magic. Fuck it, who cares? Injustice, they kind of explain it, and it's not, and even in the game where they have brainwashing, not game, in the movie where they have brainwashing done, Justice League, a Dark Apocalypse War, they literally explain how the brainwashing was done. They have like technological implants and shit, and we see that Darkseid took them over after beating them in a fight. And it does make a lot more sense because it's explained in the actual narrative why they were brainwashed. And they don't unceremoniously kill them in the most unpossibly justified way possible. Like the brainwashed Batman in Justice League Apocalypse War doesn't get shot in the head, dying on a fucking park bench. He fights his son Damian and wins. And beating up his son, killing him, is what like turns him back to the light. It makes him good again because he's like, "What the fuck have I become?" And there is like a damage to his brainwashing gear too, I guess. But that was kind of the narrative point. It's like, "What the fuck have I done? I went too far." Even though it was never caused by that, but the writing's never gonna be perfect. Like the problem with the Suicide Squad, though, is like there is no "oh fuck, I did wrong," especially if we are supposed to believe this is the Arkham version. Like, there's no point where he's like, "Wow, I've killed people. I've been like conquering a city." It's like he just gets killed on a park bench. So it's just, and it's not even by a significant character. He dies to Harley Quinn, Joker's fucking girlfriend. Joker's bimbo. Like it's a fucking character whose only known association is by another character. And again, as I said before, the whole independence thing has never been explained. And if you want to cite Assault on Arkham, you gotta accept the fact too that King Shark exists in that fucking universe. And I don't care if fucking the new version has siblings. The siblings are not named Nanawe, like how King Shark is in both fucking versions. Clearly, the writers of Suicide Squad just didn't give a fuck about Arkham canon and wrote whatever the fuck they felt like. Where the fuck was the Justice League when the fucking city was entirely encased in fear toxin? Why didn't the fucking Superman help? Where the fuck was Superman during all of this? And the whole problem, too, is, like, there's no introduction to the Justice League. They just exist. Which works if it's an independent title, but if we're supposed to think this is the Arkham universe, we need an introduction. Every Batman-centric property that has introduced the Justice League has dedicated episodes to do such. You know, it's not like they just introduced a new entry and are like, fuck it, just Superman exists now. In I think it's The Batman? Yeah, it's The Batman. Where they have, like, the 4th season, and, you know, Superman's introduced, and all these other characters are introduced, and I think there's a bit in the 3rd season, too, but it's like, you know, they actually introduce it as time goes on. They're not just like, well, they exist now. And a lot of the conflicts in Gotham were never, like, giant, you know, citywide type conflicts. They were just the Joker, you know, stealing one person and that kind of deal. And another problem too is, like, you know, they changed Deadshot's race, and it's like, well, you know, why? How can that be? You know, you can't have it be the same character, and it's like he's white and he's black. Not only that, like, he has an entirely different costume, an entirely different look. And I especially find anything, you know, in the game hard to easy to believe when you look at it from the perspective that it's the Arkham universe. It's like, so if this is the Arkham universe, then why does everyone look so different? Why is it so inconsistent? It's like, well, maybe it's just a different universe and it's a different fucking setting. This is like the God of War people when they try to justify every single character in the God of War universe being the exact same versions as in the mythology, despite, like, the numerous contradictions to the actual mythology. Like, they just don't care that it's inconsistent. They just want it to be in that universe. It's like, it probably isn't. Suicide Squad probably is its own thing. And,